Hi, my name's Kate. I'm from Kate Bird Art. I'm an artist living in the south of England, not far from the New Forest, which is where most of my inspiration comes from. Welcome to my first vlog. Exciting but daunting. Thank you so much for stopping by. I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for a long time, but until now I've not been able to muster up enough courage to actually do it. It's a huge step for me because public speaking and being on camera was always a big fear of mine. I'd probably go as far as saying it was a phobia, because doing presentations at school used to send me into a panic, and I'd have to have a script fully memorised for them. And even just reading to the class, my heart was always beating out of my chest. I'm much better with things like this now though, thanks to my job, and I feel that it's the right time to give vlogging a go because I actually feel excited about it. I've even set it as one of my goals for 2020, so I'm well on track for that already. I don't currently make a living from my art. I work as an IT manager because I need to have a regular, steady income to cover the mortgage bills and house renovations. We bought our first house in 2015 and moved to where we are now in 2018. It's a bigger house that needed a lot of work. If you're interested, there's a photo album called Our House Journey over on my Facebook page at Kate Bird Art that shows some of our progress and the awful state that it was in when we moved in. But my long-term goal is to be able to do art full-time, and I'm slowly working towards that. Because my job is quite stressful and very busy, I find it really hard to get the motivation to sit down and create in my spare time, especially after housework, walking the dogs. We have 2 miniature Dachshunds, so I expect you'll be seeing quite a bit of them in my vlogs. And I also do horse riding as well. So I'm hoping that needing footage for vlogs will help me stay motivated this year. I'm going to try my best to upload at least one vlog a month, but we'll have to see how that goes. I'd love for you to follow along with my journey. If you'd like to, please subscribe to my channel. I met my mum and dad for a dog walk last Sunday at a public garden called Exbury Gardens. You might have heard of it. It's quite well known for its beautiful rhododendron and azalea displays. Mum and I buy an annual pass, so we go there quite a lot. I thought this was the perfect opportunity to practice my filming skills, which are pretty much nil if I'm honest, so you'll have to bear with me while I improve on that. Daffodils are always stunning, although this year wasn't quite as good as last year. I wonder if that's because of all the rain and storms we've had recently. Show you some of my recent artworks. As you can see, I love anything to do with nature. During my A-level, which was back in 2010, I focused on horses. I then ended up turning to photography for a couple of years, but got back into art when my brother got a puppy, and I drew her for his birthday present, which led to other people asking me to draw their dogs. Since then, I've primarily drawn realistic animals and birds in coloured pencils, but I've always wanted to loosen up and create more expressive work, so I'm always dabbling in different mediums and styles. This was the last coloured pencil drawing that I did. It was towards the end of last year. I've completed it on watercolour paper because the original plan was to do a watercolour background, but I didn't really like how that turned out. Luckily I'd scanned it before I put the watercolour on, so I was able to create this print of it. So I used the scan that just had the plain background and then added this toned tan colour behind it. Now going on to Christmas. This little bird is a European crested tit. I wanted to create a new Christmas card design, and I'd also been watching Winter Watch, and these featured on there, so I thought I'd have a go. I put down the watercolour first, just loosely trying to get the colours, and then once that had dried I went back over with fine liner and put in the details. I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. And this is the Christmas card design. This is a print from an original watercolour. The original painting has gone off to its new home in America, so I was really pleased about that. The original is A3 in size. This print is 6x4 because I was asked by someone for this and the kingfisher in this smaller size because they had the perfect frames for them. I couldn't decide whether to finish this pheasant with the fine liner details, so I'd left it for a bit. But before I'd even had a chance to make my mind up, the person who wanted it had asked me for it, so he solved that dilemma for me. I'm sure you all heard about the tragic bushfires in Australia. I wanted to help the poor animals out there and try and raise money from the print. So I created this kookaburra painting. I'm really pleased with how he turned out. He is still in my Etsy shop and 50% of the sale goes to WWF Australia. And the last bird we have is a kestrel. This is one of my favourite birds and I've wanted to paint one for a while, but I just never got round to it. In the reference photo I couldn't see what the bird was standing on, so I had to create this post from scratch. Wood used to be quite a tricky subject for me, but I really like creating it in this style. This is my latest painting. I've completed it for a calendar entry. I'm part of an art group, and each year they produce a calendar featuring paintings of local places. This is one of the beaches near where I live. I've always liked painting landscapes, but in the past they've just never seemed to go right, whereas this one did. But I think that was because it was just an experiment for a bigger piece. But I didn't end up creating that bigger piece because I was really happy with how this turned out. I enjoyed it so much that I decided to do another landscape, the one that you saw me working on at the start of this vlog. Still got a way to go, but I really like how this one's turning out as well. So I'm hoping to keep going with these landscapes and get a few in my portfolio. Wednesday is a day off for me, and this week my other half was home too. And what with the COVID pandemic and also our little girl Amber came into her first season on Tuesday, we stayed in and spent the day tidying up the house. We had the front room and kitchen plastered a couple of weeks ago, so all the stuff from those two rooms ended up all over the place. We're still waiting for the rooms to be decorated, but that's not being done until May, so I wanted to get some normality back. We decided it was best to pay to have it professionally decorated because we don't have a lot of time off together. Adam's a chef, so he works weekends and his days off change week to week. So what would probably take us months to do will be done in a couple of days instead. We've been here 2 years now and did the top 2 floors of the house ourselves in the first year, with a lot of help from my mum and dad. I'm very grateful to them. It's a split level house with 4 floors. It has lots of character but was just not looked after by the previous owner. Last year we concentrated on the garden, which was more like a jungle. I'm trying to turn the garden into a wildlife haven, so that will probably feature quite a lot on my vlogs as well. We managed to get the grass cut and cleaned one of the patios. I also spent half an hour watching the birds and tried filming them. That wasn't very successful, but what you've just seen is what I managed to get. I think I'll end the vlog here, and I'll leave you with this little magnolia experiment. Thank you so much for watching this to the end. I really can't tell you how much that means. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!